Japan is made up of a string of islands. It has everything from the subarctic to the subtropical, offering wildly diverse landscapes. And its local cultures are a reflection of the ways in which people have adapted to their particular environment. Japan's national parks are where the harmony between people and nature can be experienced. From Hokkaido in the north to Okinawa in the south, there are 34 national parks. In this episode, we'll introduce one of these national parks, meet the people that live and work there, enjoy the seasonal views that have been preserved through their efforts, and discover the wonders of Japan's national parks. Keramashoto National Park is located in Okinawa, Japan's southernmost prefecture. Here to explore the national park is Vincent Giri, who moved to Japan from France. Interested in Japan from a young age, he studied Japanese culture and fell in love with Okinawa during a visit 15 years ago. The blend of diverse cultures in Okinawa reminds him of his hometown, Bordeaux. He's lived in Okinawa for several years, appearing in local TV shows and studying Okinawan culture. Keramashoto National Park is located about 40 kilometers west of Okinawa's main island. Made up of more than 30 islands of varying sizes and a number of reefs, it's known for its highly transparent waters, known as the Kerama Blue. Of its islands, only 4 are inhabited: Tokashikijima Island, Zamamijima Island, Akajima Island, and Gerumajima Island. The Okinawa region once belonged to a maritime nation called Ryukyu Kingdom, resulting in the distinct Ryukyu culture. A unique characteristic of Japan's national parks is that they're places in which people and nature coexist. Keramashoto National Park also stands out in that 96% of it is ocean area. It was designated a Ramsar site in 2005 in recognition of the coral reef ecosystem's value. The outlying areas are the breeding grounds of humpback whales, which can be observed during the winter months. Keramashoto National Park is a true ocean paradise. Vincent's first stop is Tokashikijima Island on the east side of the Kerama Islands. Accompanied by 2 park rangers, he makes his way to the Cheryama Observatory. The park rangers are tasked with the protection and management of the national parks.
Wow!
渡嘉敷ビーチとハレンビーチが一緒に見えることができるのはここの照山展望台のみです。
The color of the sea is really beautiful, turquoise, like green, emerald.
Park Ranger Nakamura Yui explains how the Kerama Islands came about.
慶良間諸島沖縄県の本島北部の方と連なっていたっていうふうに言われていまして、
The Kerama Islands are believed to have been part of a 2,000-meter high mountain range over 1 million years ago. The current topography was formed through large-scale deformations of the Earth's crust that caused the mountains to sink.
地盤が沈降してこういう形で山頂だけが残ったような多島海景観になってます。
沈んだってことですね。
そうですね。地盤が沈んで沈降を繰り返して今のような形になったというふうに言われています。
To see the Kerama Blue up close, Vanson heads down to Tokashiku Beach, directly below the observation deck. Once there, he tries the popular activity SUP, or stand-up paddleboarding, and enjoys a view of the crystal clear waters from above.
Oh, いいね. That's really fun.
Led by instructor Yoshizaki Makoto, Vanson glides over the Kerama Blue. The ocean floor is visible through the transparent waters.
Just here. She's just under me. Hello. Oh, すごい. すごいすごいすごい. That's great. Ah.
ビーチはビーチ側にそんなにたくさんサンゴがない。
はいはいはいはい。
海藻が生えてるので、海藻食べに行く青海がたくさんいます。
The scenery is real beautiful. The water is so clear. We could see sea turtles, like everything was perfect.
The beauty of the ocean was what convinced Yoshizaki to make Tokashikijima Island his home.
きっかけは何ですか？
もともと海が好きだったので、海で仕事したいなっていうきっかけで来て、そのまま15年住んでるんですけど。
あ、いいですね。
渡嘉敷島はですね、海もとても綺麗なんですけども、山もとてもですね、自然豊かでいろんな動植物があったり、四季折々いろんなのが楽しめるっていうのが魅力的かな。
Yoshizaki-san, thank you so much for teaching me how to stop today. It was really, really fun and a great experience. 本当にありがとうございます、今日は。
ありがとうございました。
Vanson's next stop is Kerama Island. In the time of the Ryukyu Kingdom, the region thrived on foreign trade, and the Kerama Islands served as a stopping point for ships traveling between China and Okinawa's main island. A house built by a ship captain of the time can be found on Keramashoto Island. A high stone wall comes into view. Made out of coral, it features a unique stacking method.
Nice.
And it shows how coral has long been a solid part of the islanders' lives.
Really, really impressive. Oh, wow.
This is the Takata Residence, constructed in the latter half of the 19th century during the Ryukyu Kingdom period. It's been designated an important cultural property. Here, Vanson meets Nakamura Takejiro, who served as its manager for many years. During his time as manager, he was affectionately dubbed Takejiro Oji, or Grandpa Takejiro, and welcomed visitors with Okinawan folk songs and sanshin music.
こちらでいつも三線を聞かれてたと聞いたんですけれども、
これはもう来たら弾いてお客さんが一周回ってみてから口に芸人書いて踊る人を見た手を取ってね踊る人もいるし、もう非常に賑やかだった。
少し歌っていただけますか？
Takejiro Oji is happy to oblige.
清の子ださあやなおにじゃなたてこれおお。
This popular folk song dates back to the Ryukyu Kingdom period and is performed at celebrations. The Takata Residence is now managed by locals who hope to continue in Takejiro Oji's footsteps and preserve this piece of history.
Wow. So this is a bridge there to cross to go to Aka Island. It's my first time to go there, so I'm very excited.
The island's sole village is located along the coast. The island is the habitat of the Kerama deer, which has been designated a national natural monument. As an Okinawa resident who studied the local culture firsthand, Vincent is eager to display his knowledge.
This is the Gajumaru, the famous tree of Okinawa. It's called the walking tree because the roots who comes from the branch like moves and goes into the ground again, and it moves slowly. And this is Shisa, Okinawa's lion. You can find them at the entrance of every house. It's supposed to protect the house. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Oh, this is Ishiganto. Ishiganto. You can find this kind of plates at crossings, and it's also said to protect from bad spirits and stuff like that. And sometimes you can find it also in front of houses and stuff, but really at the crossings there is a lot. I think we will be able to.
According to Okinawan folklore, evil spirits can only move in straight lines. Ishiganto talismans are placed at the end of roads to keep evil spirits from entering the houses behind them. While they can be found throughout Okinawa, their origins remain unknown.
Again, Ishiganto. Here, Ishiganto. Here. Everywhere, at every crossing almost, you can find it. Ah, this tree is so huge and so beautiful.
Festivities were once held under this tree, and it remains a cherished symbol for the islanders. After immersing himself in Okinawa's traditional culture, Vincent heads to a beach in the northern part of the island. This is Nishibama Beach, said to have some of the clearest waters in all of the Kerama Islands. A treasure trove of coral, the Kerama Islands have received the attention of coral researchers. Some have even relocated here, and Vincent is on his way to meet one of them.
Probably it's him over there. Taniguchi-san!
Hi!
Hello! Nice.
Taniguchi Hiroki is a coral researcher who moved to Akajima Island 23 years ago.
What were you doing here?
今ちょっとここに転がってるのを見てたんですけど、
サンゴですね。
こういうサンゴの骨とか。
お、綺麗ですね。It's very, very white.
この辺の砂ってすごい真っ白じゃないですか。
はい。
この砂っていうのはこういうサンゴのかけらとか貝殻が粉々に砕けてやがてこういう砂になるんですよね。
Wow!
Taniguchi leads the way to a terrace that presents a great view of the beach.
最高に美しいですね、このビーチは。
また下から見るのと違いますよね。
ですね。We hear a lot about like preserving the corals, but why is it so important to do that?
サンゴっていうのはやっぱ海の中ですごく大事な 陸上でいうと森の木々のような役割を果たしているサンゴがあることによっていろんな生き物がそこに住んでたり隠れ家にしてたりで、その森の木がなくなってしまうとやっぱり魚とか貝とかエビ、そういう生き物もいなくなってしまいますよね。
Taniguchi offers to show Vanson the visitor center on Akajima Island.
こちらはですね、サンゴをメインとしたビジターセンターになってまして、
This is Sango Yuntakukan, and Taniguchi serves as its director.
Style. It's very nice. Are corals animals or plants? I was wondering. お答えはどちらですか？
お答えはこちらですね。
動物なんですね。
はい
Animals。
はい、サンゴは生き物なんだけど、その硬い骨を作りながらこう成長していきますよっていうことで、実はサンゴにも口があります。口があります。こういう触手の真ん中に口があって、海の中のプランクトンを捕まえて食べている。なのでやっぱり動物なんですね。
As animals, can corals perform photosynthesis?
普通動物は光合成しないですよね。
しないですね。
これは何でかっていうと、その褐虫藻っていう海の中の植物プランクトンがサンゴの中に共生してるんです。でこの褐虫藻っていうのが光合成をする。自分で餌を取ることもあるし、この褐虫藻からエネルギーをもらう、この両方のエネルギーで生活している。
なるほどですね。
As Vanson moves through the exhibits, a letter of thanks addressed to Taniguchi catches his eye.
What is this?
この島では毎年小学生がサンゴの産卵の観察に、中学生はサンゴの小さな苗を植え付けに行くんですね、海に。はい、それに僕もちょっと関わらせていただいているので、毎年こういうふうに感謝状を送ってくれます。
素敵ですね。
サンゴの産卵は夜なので、周りの地域の人たちがいっぱい協力してくれて初めてできるんですね。
The event is more than just a spectacular sight. It proves to the children that corals are animals.
Thank you so much for today, for all the explanations. I learned a lot about corals. Thank you so much.
Vanson's final stop is Zamamijima Island, which is visited by tourists and divers year-round. He first heads to the Kaminohama Observatory, a famous sunset spot.
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
松本さんですか？
はい、松本です。
よろしくお願いします。
Park Ranger Matsumoto Akira introduces the highlights of Kaminohama Observatory.
あちら側は慶良間の特徴になっている多島海の島がたくさんある景色ですね。もう慶良間の海の陸から見る魅力が凝縮しているような場所になっているので、ここにテラスを作っています。
いいですね。
海の自然の美しさとかは、当然なんですけど、それを地元の方々が守ってきてるっていうことがこの国立公園の大きな特徴だと思います。地元のダイビングの事業者さんとかが清掃とかサンゴを食べてしまうような動物を除去したりとか活動をされているので、ぜひ行ってみてください。
Early the next morning, a group of divers gather at a pier on Zamamijima Island and begin suiting up for a conservation dive. They're all volunteers registered with the Zamami Diving Association. While all locals, some of them hold jobs unrelated to marine sports. There's a guest house owner who also operates a dive shop, a cameraman, and even a Nordic walking instructor. Together, they perform volunteer activities to protect Kerama Island's coral reefs. Today, they're out to capture predatory marine snails. As they'll be working underwater, the volunteers must have sufficient skills and experience. Vincent observes their activities from aboard the boat.
It seems so small.
The divers are gathering Drupella snails. These seemingly harmless creatures feed almost exclusively on corals.
They are taking it out with a pincet to protect the corals. It's so precise, thing to do in the water.
Carefully removing the small snails one by one while submerged underwater requires a high level of concentration and patience. Tallying up the day's catch is Wayama Michitoshi, the captain of this vessel. He works as a snorkeling guide and also runs a restaurant on Zamamijima Island.
今ちょうどダイバーが、
はい
上がってきてこのレイシガイですね。
こんなにもたくさんくっついてるんだ。
はい。で色もサンゴ礁とね同化している部分もありますんで、なかなか見つけるのも難しいところです。はい。
慣れてないとできないですね。
そうですね。
すごい。
The Zamami Diving Association keeps detailed records of each day's condition and catch.
こういうデータっていうのは今までなかった分、この世代で終わるんじゃなしに次にもつなげていきたいっていうのもありまして、こういう部分で頑張っておりますので、はい。
こんなに頑張ってる方々がいるっていうのは、本当に初めて知って素晴らしい。
今日ダイバーが7名入りまして295個取りました。
すごいですね。いつもこんなたくさん取られてるんですか？
そうですね。
When did you start doing this kind of actions to protect the corals?
僕は15年ぐらい前から
15年。Wow.
海で仕事する上で当たり前のことだと思ってる。
I see. Thank you so much today for.
Thank you very much.
It's not only professionals and specialists doing it. It's also like it's the local people trying to protect the environment. That's really, wow, something moving, I think, to me.
While Drupella snails are the association's current target, they're not the only coral predator. A particularly troublesome one is the crown of thorns starfish. Outbreaks of the large starfish have a devastating impact on coral reefs around the world. An outbreak at the Kerama Islands about 20 years ago placed their coral reefs at risk of extinction. Chiku Hiroshi, the vice president of the Zamami Diving Association, clearly remembers those times.
その当時はですね、オニヒトデを毎日のように300、400取ってたんですけども、それでも間に合わなかったんです。それじゃあ全部、サンゴが食べられてしまうということで、重要保全区域という場所を決めて、そこだけは絶対にオニヒトデを入れないということで、その場所だけを守る。
Seeing the danger the coral reefs faced, the local dive businesses went into action. The various islands worked closely together to eradicate the crown of thorns starfish. According to records, the Zamami Diving Association removed 67,000 crown of thorns starfish in the peak year of 2002.
今は他のポイントにもモニタリングに出かけてサンゴの状態を確認するようにはしております。
じゃあ逆に少し余裕ができたぐらいな感じですね。
そうですね。
他の場所も見れるぐらいの。
はい。
Thank you so much.
これからも頑張っていきます。またよろしくお願いいたします。
ぜひ頑張ってください。ありがとうございます。
The beautiful waters of the Kerama Islands are the result of the local community's tireless efforts. Unwilling to pass up an opportunity to see the Kerama Islands corals for himself, Vincent signs up for a snorkeling activity. His instructor is Oku Futoshi, one of the conservation dive participants.
足大きくゆっくり動かしてもらったら、ゆっくり楽に進むことができるはずです。
I'm very excited because I will be able to see now the real corals doing snorkeling. That's really nice.
じゃあサンゴの綺麗な方に泳いでいきましょうか。
Moving through the crystal clear water, a coral reef comes into view. From branch coral to block coral, foliose coral, and table coral, it's a collection that rivals any aquarium. The Kerama Islands are home to about 250 coral species and approximately 60% of all reef-building corals in Japan. This rich and beautiful seascape is a haven for many sea creatures. Returning to the boat, Vincent appears to be taking in all that he just saw.
I discovered so many things this time in the Kerama Island. The coral reef was a real forest filled with a lot of different lives. Fish, plants, everything was so beautiful, so colorful, and so rich. Also, I was really moved by the connection between the people living here and the nature. They are trying to do their best to protect this environment and to keep it as beautiful as it is now. I've been living in Okinawa for a few years now, but yet there are so many things to discover within the ocean, in the nature, in this wonderful national park.
Japan's national parks are unique, not just in their landscapes, but in their display of harmony between people and nature. They contain treasures, adventures, and new discoveries. Why not come and be at one with nature?